Get out of here!
All golf, all day, every day.
Gotta get loose.
You were up by 9 strokes after the first 2 holes. You're probably going to want a little differentiation. Not a word, but
Cut that part out of the podcast.
Somebody give me something to drink.
I'm going to slap that smile right off your face, Blake. These aren't stupid questions.
We're just jumping right in.
Just jumping right in. Might as well keep talking about this. So we got Shayn on. We're talking about football quick. The Jordan's Chiefs won. Shayn, last week we had a bet against my brother who's a Bills fan. He lost. So now he has to wear this old-timey golf outfit. And then Jordan gets to pick one club out of his bag that he has to use for a round.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's your suggestion of the club I should make him use?
Oh, man. The putter would be fun.
We kind of agreed that no, it has to be like an iron. No
Okay.
putter, no putter or woods. That would be kind of dirty pool, I guess you could say.
Man, that is a great question. You know, I feel like it could go either way, right? You give him the sand wedge and put the disadvantage in his hand, but on a par 3 course with a tennis ball, I don't know. If you give him a 2 iron or something, he's damn near got a driver if you think of it from that aspect. So,
Well, we're doing this regular golfing, not for the Eskimo Open.
I thought you were talking about for Eskimo Open.
No. I think it'd be
No.
nice to give him like a 7 iron.
Make him play the whole round of 7.
I can't be that nice.
I think I'd go a little bit longer, even. Like, nobody hits their 5 iron well. Give him a 5. He'll just be splashing that thing all over the place.
Yeah, but he likes his driving iron or whatever, so
Yeah,
he'll
but
probably
don't
like
give
a
him that
higher
one.
one. Well, obviously not that one.
And then
I also like that half of this punishment is just something that I do for fun. Like, dress up like an idiot on the golf course. Like,
Yeah.
And then Brady, you said you went 0 for 4 today on all your bets that you placed.
yeah, it was an impressive weekend for me in the NFL slate. 0 for 4 on both games is nice. But
Remind me not to take
can't
his
win them
advice.
all. I remember when I said I made it big on the college championship game. Well, that's all gone.
So
Easy
what
come, easy go.
What websites are you using to place your bets? Because in Wisconsin, I thought there's certain sites that just don't allow you to do it.
Yeah, I'm only 20 minutes away from Iowa and Illinois, so
He can.
So you just have to cross state lines to go place a bet?
yeah, you can do it on your phone. I literally sometimes just drive over the bridge and sit in the like Diamond Joe parking lot or the Q Casino parking lot, put them in, and then drive right back.
I mean, I don't know if we should be saying this live on the podcast. We don't want to.
No, they know.
Everyone knows. Everyone knows.
Legal. You're allowed to drive to a different state and place a bet. I mean,
Well, I didn't know if there were stipulations on that. That's where I was going with it.
No, everybody knows that Brady bets, and he hasn't hit it big because he's still doing this every week. So
yeah, the day I don't show up, that's
So yeah, we finally got you on here. I know you were busy. You're actually at the Vikings game, which was really cool. I mean, they lost, which sucks, but that must have been pretty cool, right?
I was okay with it.
It was, painful to watch as far as the loss goes, but super cool. The game got moved because of the LA fires, obviously, as everybody knows. So it wound up being in Glendale, Arizona. My brother lives in Phoenix, Scottsdale area.
Nice.
I got a phone call and he said, "Hey, you want to fly out and go to the game?" And I didn't know if I was even going to be able to swing it. Asked the wife and she said, "Go ahead, go have some fun with your brother." So win or lose, obviously it was still going to be a successful, fun trip with my brother at the end of the day. But yeah, we lost. We got whooped.
Yeah, that was a tough one to watch too.
Yeah, I know you wanted to call. You're like, yeah, I'll call in. I'm like, dude, don't even worry about it. Like, go enjoy yourself.
Yeah,
Like,
right? Are you kidding?
yeah.
Well, I thought, how cool would it be to be at at the game 50-yard line trying to do? I mean, we wouldn't have heard nothing. It would have been ridiculous, but it would have been
When
a
we
cool
were-
little flirt for fans just to see the game. But
Right.
When we were taping, Blake told us that's where you were, and I was like, literally, like kickoff time was like when we started taping. And I was like, that'd be a great time to ask him to call in the second the game kicks off.
so it was loud. It was, believe it or not, being out in Phoenix or Glendale, just outside, you would have thought LA would have had the home field advantage. And obviously there was a lot more bigger things on people's minds than probably football for LA fans. But with that being said, man, it was like 75% Vikings fans. It was a home game in Phoenix. It was
wow.
loud,
You could
obnoxious.
hear it on the broadcast. Even it was loud that game. I remember.
Yep. Just didn't go our way, so we proceeded to, drink ourselves stupid, and we found a casino to place some bets on all types of things, and we had a good time.
Just like the rest of the NFC North did. So
Yes, that was ridiculous. Detroit bowed out quickly afterwards as well.
all
Yeah,
we got is Jordan's voodoo magic team over here,
I'll keep
pulling
with
out
it.
every trick in the bag.
I don't care. I get sent so many TikToks, memes, whatever, of everyone that I know, of all the ref kissing and all that stuff. I'm like, I'm just gonna lean into it now. I'm just gonna
Embrace it.
become the
That's
villain.
what you got to do.
Jordan's a lifer. He's like the Chiefs way when they sucked a long time ago. So he's been in it for the long haul.
Would you like to hear
Sorry.
some ridiculous Patrick Mahomes stats?
Well,
Hold on,
obviously.
you got a question for him?
Well, no, I was just gonna say. So, are you getting a bunch of the Taylor Swift memes and everybody,
Mhm.
bothering you over all that as well?
Not as much anymore. Right away when it first started, I would get all those you Swifty now and stuff like that.
And-
But
And
now
for the
it's-
whole week, me and Wags were blowing you up with Bills talk.
yeah. So now that it's over, I've sent like 5 or 6 of them now to the group chat, and
Yep, the revenge.
just getting my revenge.
Hey, I had Bills pegged to win, and I didn't
Same.
realize you were a diehard Chiefs fan, but Josh Allen, hats off to that guy. The dude is an amazing quarterback. He's had a great career. Unfortunately, every year about this time of the playoff run, he's got to run into a guy like Patrick Mahomes. It'd be like being Michael Jordan having to face Karl Malone, or being Karl Malone and having to face Michael Jordan every year, or Patrick Ewing. You just never get the ring because the guy you got to play against is the man.
It's just unbeatable.
Yeah, I like Josh Allen. I like the Bills too. Like, I like their team.
They're a hard team to not like with all the cool stuff they do, and like
their
hey,
fan base
Josh
is
Allen is just like
awesome.
a cool dude. Like, yeah,
Their fan base is awesome. Like we talked about it last week, that they donated like 100 or 200K to Mark Andrews diabetes
fund,
foundation. Like, I mean, they're a good team, but Alex made me like them a little less because of all the smack talk he was talking. But yeah, it's great to be in the Super Bowl for the 3rd straight year.
yeah.
Alex isn't here this week because he's
on vacation.
Punta Cana. Yeah, first time he's ever left the country or on a plane. So he texted me. He's like, "I landed." That's all I heard. So hopefully he's
good enough.
Yeah. But yeah, I got some football bar related questions, but we could talk about that after we talk about the Eskimo Open. So that's the reason you're here, so we could talk about that.
I guess we'll do that.
I thought you were just here to hang out.
I appreciate it. I thought I was here to drink with you guys.
Yeah. So this year is Eskimo Opens on the 15th of February. It's always the 3rd Saturday of February every year. How long have you guys had it there at the Moose?
So, great question. This is the 16th season we've had it at Remy's Thirsty Moose. 40 or oh man, I just looked at it before we got on. I think it's the 34th annual Eskimo Open. It's held by Lake Wisconsin Lions Club, and it's always been out here on the ice. But 16 years we've been doing it as Remy's Thirsty Moose.
How did you get hooked up doing that?
So they approached us when we first bought the bar and opened up and said, "Hey, here's an opportunity, an event," and they kind of gave us the background about what it's about and where all the money goes. It's an amazing, Lake Wisconsin Lions Club. It's the only one in the state of Wisconsin. Their Lions Club represents 2 cities. So our Lions Club represents both Poynette and Lodi, which, like I just said, it's the only one in the state that represents 2 cities. But when they do all their stuff, they're doing with the money they earn from this and other events. They're doing blood drives. They're doing the eyeglass screening for children entering pre-K or kindergarten free of charge for all parents. And that kind of tells them if their children could potentially have any issues or maybe be needing glasses. And they go and do both of the food pantries for Poynette and Lodi. They buy and donate money to the libraries to update computer equipment and whatnot. They update the parks in our areas. So if you got parks nearby your subdivision or community that's got old equipment, they come out and pay for the new plastic or maybe the new mulch or whatever the new styles of rubber is they lay down sometimes underneath the playgrounds. They do different road cleanups that they organize and put together.
So pretty much
on and
everything.
on. Everything, man. They do scholarships for high school kids for Lodi and Poinette. So when they came to us, they approached us kind of with all that, right? They put it in our laps and said, "Here's what we do with this money. We want to use your bar in your area. You know, we don't own the ice in the lake, but they wanted to use us as home base to make the event happen." And we thought, hey, that's just something we want to be part of. Anytime you can do something like that in your community, you know,
Hard to say no.
Yeah, I mean, it works out well when you have that. I don't know what you call it, but that side back room, you know, where you can get your tennis ball and you can hand in your ticket and then walk right out there. And then there's that not frontage, but it's the back, you know, of the bar and walk right down on the ice. So speaking of ice, you know, last year they didn't have enough to have it on the ice, so they did the best they could. I thought it was great. I had fun.
I still had a good time.
Yeah, sponsored a hole. Is there
almost like harder? It was like more obstacles out there. I felt like some of those were a little more elaborate than when they put it out in the snow.
Right.
It's like a mini golf course almost with some of those obstacles.
Do you know? Have you heard what the thickness is out there right now?
Yeah, so we have the races that kind of bounce between us and the neighboring bar down the road, and they race their quads and UTVs and side-by-sides, go-karts, on and on. And they were out measuring the other day, and I think they said it was right around 18 inches. And with the cold weather that we got right now, it's growing. So I don't see any reason whatsoever that this event this year is not going to be held out on the ice, which last year was the first time ever that it was ever held, to my knowledge, at least since we've been there, on land. It might have been on land one other time, but yeah, I mean, we we made the best with what we had. I think it worked out okay. The neighbors let us use the properties in their backyard, and you know, it's nice that they have such a long stretch of a field. I guess if you attended, you know what I mean by that, but they have a huge football field style yard that's a long yard that runs to the lake, and with their help, man, it worked out perfect.
Yeah, no, I think I didn't get a chance to golf, obviously, because I was right in front of you. You're in the tiki bar, but no, I'm looking forward to having it on the ice this year, being out there, because we're doing a whole sponsorship again this year. We're gonna get the golf cart out there that has the bar top and the keg. Yeah, I'm organizing the keg right now, and then making a couple things to go out there. It'll be fun, and then we're gonna use the par tabs that we sell. So people can actually play those on a hole and get a feel for the game out on the ice, which is going to work out well too.
How slick would you say the ice is right now?
Dude, there's 0 snow on that ice right now.
On a 1 to 10, it's probably about a 10. We could use between now and February 15th, we could use a dusting. You know, a couple inches would be nice. But it would help add some traction. So for any listeners, that's a great question. If you plan on attending, or if you have young ones, or even moms, dads, grandpas, and grandmas, if they have any mobility issues, anything whatsoever, maybe plan on having some type of a really good spiked shoe or boot, or the add-on little cleats. Because if they're going to be drinking, last thing we want to see is anybody go down hard and get hurt. We'll all laugh, but we don't want to see anybody get hurt.
He took a pretty good spill a couple years ago on the ice.
He had to sleep in a recliner for like 2 weeks.
It wasn't that long, maybe 2 days. But.
I mean, I feel like it kind of goes with the territory, right? Like the whole premise of the idea of Eskimo Open and the 18-hole ice golf course is to give you something to do in the middle of winter. Out on the frozen lake.
Ice is slippery, you know.
Ice is slippery.
Yeah, no, it's gonna be good. Do you know? I guess you wouldn't know the total count, but have you been moving a lot of tickets at the bar for it this year?
Yeah, you know, every year it's kind of different, right? You get the club members that personally go around. They're responsible for, I'm sure, trying to sell or distribute so many tickets. Obviously, us being the hub and the location of the event, they always try to dump as many as possible on us to get rid of and sell. and we try to sell as many as we can for the event, not just for the sake of making it busy, but it helps kind of keep it from being bottlenecked or overwhelmed the day of.
Yeah.
So I don't have a real count. If I had to guess, I'd say, man, we probably sold anywhere between 500 tickets, give or take, somewhere in there.
Oh, that's pretty good. That's good. Yeah. Okay. Awesome.
I would buy a second keg.
No, just one. So I got that. Are you guys doing the food? So I know if anybody's been there, if you haven't, I'd encourage you because it's insane to see. We were out. As for being out on the ice, we were out there one year and a plane landed behind us, and there's people zooming by on snowmobiles, and there's tons of stuff to do. But the bar itself, is packed to the tits. You cannot hardly move around in there. So are you guys doing any burgers on the patio like you had previous years, or drink specials? I said, you should always do you should pick just 5 shitty light beers, 3 shitty light beers, and be like, that's it. That's all we're serving today.
Yeah, so a little bit of everything, right? For anybody that's never been there before, what I always tell everybody is I'm selling them a ticket for the first time. I say, come inside the bar right away, no matter what time you get there. The event, you can start golfing at 10 a.m. The event goes till about 3 p.m. as far as golfing. Obviously, if you're still out there and you got 4, 5, or 9 holes to go, they're not shutting down. It's not one of those kind of things, but that's the rough idea of golf times. There's no amount people to golf with. So if you come with a party of 10 or 15 or 20, you can golf with your whole party, or as little as, by yourself or 2 people. But when you first get to the bar, obviously got to check in. If you're bringing your own club, which we highly suggest, just in case the bar has 500 people out on the ice using their clubs, there may not be any available, so you'd have to wait till people come in. But a good way to find some cheap clubs if you're worried about damaging your own, I'd say go hit up your local Goodwill, Salvation Army. You can buy them for 50 cents a buck. And we always tell people probably use, and you guys may be better to tell them than me, because I'm always working the event, but not a driver and not a pitching wedge. So find your sweet spot in between. You are hitting a tennis ball.
Yep.
Yeah, the 6 or 7 seems to be the sweet spot for me, I'd say.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
But yeah, when you come into the bar, I say hit the raffle line. There's going to be guys going around selling arm lengths of tickets. There's going to be a million bucket. It's kind of like a bucket raffle style. And they have prizes from local businesses to Brewers, Badgers, Packers, booze, beer, oil changes at local little car shops to restaurants to Cascade Mountain, Wollersheim, Rock and Wool Winery here local. So on and on, right? There's so much stuff to win. But if you buy that and go put your tickets in the bucket right away, they start doing those raffles, the bucket raffle prizes, while everybody's outside enjoying their golfing. And then also inside, they're doing meat raffles that constantly are going on. So if you happen to golf early, come back inside and start your partying because they're doing things inside.
Are they they're doing meat raffles again this year?
I believe so. So they'll do the bucket raffles. Those probably kick off about noon, 1 o'clock-ish. I don't have the exact times, but typically they probably wait till about 1 to 2, I'd say maybe, to start doing those. And then the meat raffles start, and those kind of carry on throughout the night.
50-50s too, right?
Yep. 50-50s. They will have the food set up out on the patio. So usually they're grilling brats, burgers, dogs. You got, bags of chips. The Tiki Hut will be open, so there's a fun little tidbit for you guys. I know some years in the past we have not had it open, and I think a lot of people were always wanting it open. In the winter, we tend to pack a lot of our summer crap inside there. We clean it all out and get it kind of winterized, but there's not much use other than a couple times out of the year. So we're going to put it to use this year. It'll be stocked with more than 3 of your favorite beers. Plenty of booze. It's not going to be everything. It's not going to be like going up inside the bar where you got a million choices of everything, but there'll be all.
Grabbed a few Jello shots from there last year, if I remember right.
Yep. So there'll be all your normal boozes, rum, whiskey, gin, tequila, vodka, mixers, beer, you name it. So it ought to be able to take care of everybody's needs as far as the tiki hut goes. And then out on the ice, we don't ever really truly know. I haven't had an opportunity yet to sit down with the Lions Club. Their meeting's coming up here this next week, and that's when we kind of get a lot more of the in-depth details. But usually there's always some breweries out on the ice, which after you pay for your ticket, the $10 to golf which is what it costs to take part in this event. There's usually breweries and different businesses out on the ice like yourselves, and they're handing out swag, different items from their local businesses, trying to promote and show you what they can or can't do. And there's free beer, free food, free hot dogs, things for the kids, little mini games at each of the holes, which keep you kind of entertained. And it's a game within a game.
It is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well worth the price of admission for $10.
Yeah.
That should be on a t-shirt. Well worth it.
You're looking at the best frozen bluegill tosser last year. No big deal.
Okay.
The only one the entire day to go 3 for 3 according to them. So
Yeah.
See if you can two-peat this year on that.
yep, I'm trying to get my Chiefs record going here.
Yeah, that the hell was I just gonna say? Yeah, I mean, because it does get bottlenecked on the holes every once in a while, so it is fun to have somebody out there just doing little games and keeping things moving a little bit. Yeah, I wish, like, I don't know anybody else that's going to be sponsoring a hole, but usually it's, like you said, a variety of breweries or local businesses, and they usually have some fun. Actually, what's that service that drives you from the bar? Lodi Buddies or
Bar buddies. So
Bar Buddies?
Yep.
Yeah, they were out there one year and they had the drunk goggles that you could put on and you try to go through cones and stuff. And yeah, I mean, it's awesome.
So good point. Bar buddies will be on call. So for anybody that doesn't know what it is, it's a local service. Obviously living out here in the Lake Wisconsin, Poinet, Lodi area, we don't really have Ubers, and lifts and some of the things you may have in the different bigger city areas. So what Bar Buddies does, it keeps our roads safe. So if anybody comes out to the event, doesn't feel like they can make it home or doesn't want to take a chance, which we encourage you not to, feel free. We'll have the numbers inside the bar. There's posters up all over the bar. It's a $5 car ride, $5 per person. They take you anywhere you want to go. So it's an awesome service and a great way to get home safe. Have no worries.
And well worth the price of admission.
I say with the price of admission too, in the past years, like I can't say for what's going to happen this year, but you always get a Lions Club koozie too, which is nice, a little keepsake. Yep. So, and your tennis ball, you golf with your tennis ball, you get to keep that at the end of the day.
Which is mine's still in my trunk from last year.
Dude, I'm not kidding. I probably have 40 tennis balls in my garage from the past 7 years we've been doing this. Yeah, it's wild. Just going through my list here, covered all that. Cost tickets. Oh, they doing the big raffle at the end of the day too at 5:00 for the ticket.
Yep. So with everybody, when you purchase your $10 ticket, and you'll see right on there, it's going to have a bunch of information. I feel like first place prize, and I should probably know this to be 100% before I say it, but I feel like first place prize is like $500. Maybe it's 1,000, 500. Okay.
I think so. Yeah.
They're giving away a couple second place prizes, I think at $250, and then obviously it trickles on down. Yeah, that'll go on towards the end. Some years after the Eskimo Open, they're out rounding up all the Christmas trees, pulling them out of the hole, trying to clean the ice up. And they do bonfires sometimes. Sometimes there's DJs or live music out on the lake. We've had DJs in the past inside, but see, some of that is all up to the Lions Club. So, like I said, had we had this podcast maybe next week, I'd have a little more information, but it keeps all your listeners tuned in, right? So
right. And it's this will come out Thursday, so then what's that, 3 weeks away? So it's getting close. So it's good to get the word out and stuff. But that's on my list too. So we've never, because we usually get done, pack up, we'll hang out at the bar for a while till like 5:30, then go back up to the house and party or whatever. So what is the bonfire like? Like, do they light it out on the ice, or is it?
Yeah, so we've done it a few different ways over the years. Years ago in the back lot, kind of behind where our back parking lot was, Now they have the boat lifts from the neighboring property. They used to put them right back there, and they just light a huge fire, and people would go back there and drink and come back into the bar and grab their drinks and work back and forth. 2 years ago, they did it down in the volleyball court. We gave them permission that it was okay. They could do it. We just cleaned the sand up the following year, which was no big deal. We bring in fresh sand damn near every year anyways. So, and last year, you know what? That's a good question. I don't know whether they did it out on the ice or maybe they didn't do it at all. I think part of it always depends on the amount of help from the club that they have. You know, the Lions Club is obviously like some of the other clubs. They're an older organization. They're nationwide, but they're an older organization. So some of their members are older. They're always looking for young, new youth and new blood, people that happen to move to the area that have some free time.
Like,
I've got I would, but I've got, dude, I've got a lot of things cooking right now.
What's one more then?
Yeah.
But that's really what helps keep some of these events going is as some of them kind of get older and slow down a little bit, well, then they're looking for the new life to help do some of the more manual stuff, which puts on events like this. You know, where else? I'm sure there's only a few places in the U.S. that has events like this, you know?
Oh, yeah. I've never even heard of this. Like when I moved here, I think, it was the following winter. I just said, I saw the signs. I told Jordan, I'm like, come on up. I'm like, there's this golf thing out here. We'll just check it out. Like, I don't know. We'll check it on me. Our buddy Jaden and our buddy Toby came down. It was just the four of us then. I was like, this is amazing. How come this isn't, we haven't heard of this before at all?
Not everyone's got a lake in their backyard.
Yeah, that's true. It's not my backyard. I'm not like that.
It's close.
It's close. It's close.
Yeah, you know what? Same thing for us, right? When we first got up here, it was something out of the normal. It was something that kind of blew our minds after we got to witness it, take part in it, host it. We reached out to a lot of our friends, immediate friends and family. It was like, you'll never believe what these people do up here. You know, they're out in the frozen lake golfing, an 18-hole golf course. And my friends back home at the time were like, same thing. We got to come see this. We got to be part of it. And even if you come just once or it's something you turn into an annual kind of holiday for you, your friends and family, it gives you a reason, which we all kind of look forward to, right? Everybody, as we get older, we need a reason to get together. Well, this is one of those silly, fun, stupid kind of things that just gives you a day off from life to get together and go out and have some fun in the middle of winter.
Yeah.
I was like a little skeptical the first time I heard. I was like, what are you guys talking about? And then I go and do it, and it's like hooked immediately. Like, all right, I'm coming back next year. Like, for sure. Even though I almost died.
Yeah, so immediately broken ribs.
Worth it.
Well, the event has grown every year. You know, when we first started, and I don't have numbers to give you or your listeners to tell you the truth, and I don't want to fabricate and try to hype this thing into something it ain't. But, you know, I would imagine the first year that we did this back in like 2010-ish, you know, there might have been over the course of the day a total of like 200 to 500 golfers, which, you know, may sound like a lot over the course of the day, but, you know, there wasn't as many people as you look up from up top. It didn't seem like it was very busy because if 200 to 500 people are spread out, you know, that's like 5, 10, 20 people at every hole. Well, then as some years went on and we added some breweries and got some different sponsorships, you know, where everybody's at a hole doing something fun, creating another game within a game, man, it really grew into something. And now it's so fun to see where, you know, you may come early and you're like, man, there's not a lot of people here. We'll just wait an hour or two.
Yeah. I mean, that is true what you're saying, because when we went, it was just the four of us. I remember we got done. I mean, it wasn't that cold out. It was slightly cold, but it was snowing, but it was tolerable, very tolerable. And we got done and we came inside the bar and we sat down at the bar, that was the first and last time that's ever happened, because ever since then, like I said, it's just been packed and you can't even hardly get in there. So yeah, it just seems like every year just
on the bar.
yeah, I mean, well, just like every year, just boom, boom. There's people out in the patio, and out in the side parking lot there, and it's just it's awesome. It's great.
Yeah. I actually remember you telling me that story. Yeah, chances are getting a bar seat inside the bar, I would say you have to come extremely early and don't get up to pee.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah. Or have somebody there sitting next to you hold your spot or something. But
Yep.
yeah. No, that's awesome. We're pretty excited for it.
There'll be some porta potties set up out on the ice, kind of sporadically set up. I know
That's
some of the different hole sponsors, a lot of them, if not all of them, bring a trash can. Obviously, we try to keep the lake and the ice picked up. We don't like people flicking cigarette butts and trash, and please be respectful of all that. Pop cans. We encourage no carry-ons. Obviously, we're a bar and a restaurant. All our proceeds are being donated to a great cause, so we try not to tell or encourage people to bring coolers and drinks. There's a tiki hut that'll be stocked full. The bar's right there. If you want to buy beers instead of having to feel like you got to walk to and from every trip, buy a 12-pack at a time. Do whatever you need for your group.
Mhm.
But there will be porta potties, obviously, for children and kids. Parents, you can always come back in the bar and warm up. I'd say if it's a cold day for anybody that has not done this, dress accordingly. You're in the middle of Wisconsin out on a lake that's frozen. It could be windy. Bring a face mask, bring a neck warm or a scarf, bring hand warmers, even if you use them or don't use them. If you don't use them, great, right? At least you had them.
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
you'd rather
We
be
will.
hot than cold.
There, if depending on the weather, because there's been some years where we've actually just shed our jackets because it's been that
Yeah.
awesome outside.
Yep.
Sometimes not so much. So where there is talks of us getting a fire pit out there on our hole too.
Yeah.
We're gonna have a trash can for sure, so people can throw away their par tabs. Let's keep them
Yep.
because that has all of our information on them. So yeah, we're gonna have a good setup. Hopefully close to the bar.
Yeah. I'll see what I can do.
To the
I'll see
tiki
what I
hut,
can
maybe.
do to pull some strings for that one.
I don't think I'm gonna be able to get that Remax first hole spot, but
Well, obviously,
Maybe
You know,
18. No.
all the different sponsorships are going to start coming out. I don't even know, 8:30, 9 o'clock to set up. Most of them are bringing their trucks and trailers, heaters, fire pits, tables, whatever they're doing for their hole, right out there with them, like you said, along with trash cans and on and on. So there'll be a front nine, there'll be a back nine for all the sponsors. They'll kind of display, and they try to space out so we don't have like brewery hole 1, brewery hole 2, brewery hole 3. I know there's some wineries for any listeners that enjoy a good wine or wine slushy. A couple of the local wineries, I hate to drop any names just in case they don't show up, but I've been told they are coming. So for the ladies or the gentlemen that enjoy a good glass of wine, there will be wine out there as well. But yeah, it should be a great day. We're looking forward to it. You'd be amazed for the amount of people that come out when that event's over. That ice is crystal clean. There's no beer. It doesn't look like you just left the Chiefs game, right? There's no beer cans thrown all over the place. People are pretty cool, and it's just, I think, the Wisconsin way, right? Everybody looks out. There's no problems. There's never fights. There's never cops involved. It's just a great day to come out and do something fun.
no, I've never seen any problems ever. I
Mhm.
mean, occasional people slipping and falling on their butts every once in a while, like that. Yeah, that's about it. It's always been great. So just to recap, February 15th, right? Yep. $10 a person to get in. And then you can buy your ticket anytime. So you can go to the Moose. You got your address? I'm sure you do.
Yep. N3124 County Road V, Poynette, Wisconsin 53955. You can always call us at the bar, 608-635-4311.
And then you're open from Thursdays to Sunday.
Yep, Thursday to Sunday right now. We open at 11 a.m. We close, our kitchen closes at 8 p.m. Obviously, afterwards, we do frozen pizzas, Emo's Wisconsin pizzas, but bar's always open later. As far as the day of the event, my guess is it's going to be bar time or damn near, depending on the party. if you can make it that long, I should say.
Yeah.
Pace yourself. It is a full day event, so don't be the guy at like the front 9, hole 3 that's can barely walk and talk, because we're all going to be laughing at you.
I mean, dude, we've gotten done and then gone up to the house, go in the garage, eat and party, and they're like, oh my God, we've got to get to bed. It's got to be. It's like 8 o'clock at night.
Yeah,
We're like,
we'll look at our phone and it'll be like 8:30, 9 o'clock, and we're like,
boy,
oh,
it's sure getting late. Oh wait,
we're so old.
But yeah, so you can stop at the Moose and get your tickets early, which is recommended. I would. I mean, we've done that every year almost, where you just get them early. That way you can show up. You have them filled out because you put your name and address in there for the big raffle at the end.
Yep.
And then you can go right to the side, get your stuff, grab a couple drinks, head out on the ice. Pretty smooth operation. I will say that.
yeah,
Like
you guys
Shane
usually have
said.
those little shower caddy things that you can put a couple beers in and carry out there. So
I only had those last year. That's right. Yeah.
You know, one thing last year I didn't see, and I've seen it in years past, and I don't know, you guys probably see a lot more than what I get to see because I'm always working in the bar and it's wall to wall. But I know in the earlier years when we first did this event, there was groups, let's say if it was a group of 6 guys or girls or whatever, there was years they all dressed up in costumes. You know, we had guys that were all the Mario Party guys one year, you know, Luigi and Toadstool and Princess. One year we had a bunch of superheroes. You know, I don't know why or how they decided to put spandex on for an ice golf event, but kudos to them. But I haven't seen in the past few years anybody really dress up in some amazing costumes or like silly outfits.
all right, we got 2 weeks to plan it, boys.
Yep.
2 weeks? I don't know.
Shane planted the seed, so now we gotta come through on it.
Well,
Get that old timey golf outfit out, Brady.
Yeah, there you go.
Those do
Maybe
not retain the heat like you might think they will. Those are actually pretty cool paints.
that could be a new prize or something we do, you know, the craziest outfit the day of.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Can't win the raffles any other damn way, so maybe that's the only way.
Yeah.
Never seem to be lucky enough to win anything else.
Well, I feel like you never really know what you're gonna get, right? Until the week of. There's been years where it's been, you know, you just said it best, Blake, that there's years that you guys come and you're ripping your coats and underlayers off because the sun is shining. There's maybe no wind, perfect ice, little snow for traction out there. And there's been other years where it's bitter cold, it's windy, there's an inch or two of slush. You know, so I guess that's the part of real golf, right? You may play from the bunker sometime. You got to watch for the water, and you could
play the
be in the
conditions.
rough. Yeah, you play your conditions, 100%.
That last year wasn't bad. It was 32, 33, but that wind, dude.
It was it was real windy.
Yeah, when that wind come by, man, it just sucked the heat right out of your body.
That one place was given surprise, was that habanero whiskey shots? So that warmed you up right away too. They were just like we were like playing a game and I was like, all right, you won this, and I just like tried it blindly, and that was a mistake. That thing burned for a while.
Yeah, wouldn't you? They were just rolling dice, I think.
Yeah,
and they're like, you would roll like a 5 or something, and you win this shot. Oh, thank you.
Oh,
I think if you would have rolled a 1 through 6, you were probably a winner.
Exactly.
Everybody.
They were just trying to get rid of their old stock, it sounds like.
Could have been, yeah.
Free samples, man. That's what you got.
Yeah.
I will be curious to see what breweries come out this year. I know in the past we've had New Glarus, we've had Wisconsin Brewery, we've had Ale Asylum, we've had Vintage, we've had Big Sky Brewery out of Missoula, Montana, so that's a stretch. But one of our reps, because of being the Thirsty Moose and Helen's family having some ties back in the Big Sky, Montana area, they made it a trip and came out. We've had Searsis out of Columbus, Wisconsin. Bevy, yep, thank you. I was gonna say, I know I'm missing several, especially the local area stuff. Bevy was awesome last year. You know, they come out and still put on a good show and brought out a ton of product for all of our customers and attendees to sample for free. But And then the wineries, of course, Rock and Wool, Wollersheim. Trying to think of the local one there in Lodi. Off the top of my head, I'm drawing a blank. The wine bar, I think it is, right?
I think it's just the
Yeah,
wine bar.
wine bar. Yeah, I think
The wine bar. Well,
Yeah.
so they were out there last year. I think they were right by you giving out the wine slushies, right?
Yep.
Which,
They were right next to us. Nice guys.
yep, him and his wife, super cool people, young family, great place to go if you're in Lodi and want to check out something different. But yeah, we really appreciate all the sponsors we get, and every year it changes, so we never quite know. We send the invite out to a lot of the same people because we feel like if you were loyal to us in the get-go and jumped on when it was maybe smaller and not as big as what it's grown into, we wanted to extend that opportunity for you to be part of it every year as far as it's grown into what it is now. But we'll see what we get this year and how it goes, but I'm sure it's going to be amazing.
I think for also being a sponsor, like last year was my first year. We're doing it again this year for Ridge Golf. And I mean, as sponsorship goes, I mean, I can bleep this out if you don't want me to say, but it's $150, which is not that bad for all the exposure that you get. I mean, you consistently just have people rolling through, and like I just had a couple of QR codes there for the podcast and the website, and our product out. People can play with the par tabs and some drinks for people. So it's fun. Like I had a blast too doing it.
Yeah.
And
So
you get a sweet sweatshirt too. So.
Yeah, the sponsorship was something they started up, within the past 10 years, let's say. And I don't know if they did it in the earlier years as well, but it was something that we didn't see or weren't aware of. And we started coming up with the idea if we could get people to represent each hole. And let's say you owned a construction business and you wanted to make a pitch to all the people that lived here locally or out of towners coming to cabins or summer homes, and you wanted to promote your business. What a great way, right? Sit and show pictures of the work and what you do. And maybe half these people coming from out of town areas, they don't know nothing about you. So
we had a girl come up to the Ridge Golf booth last year, and she looked at the pull tabs and she goes, what's pull tabs? I go, what state are you from? She goes, Texas. Yeah, you got a lot of learning up here.
Well, and that just hits it on the head. That's just it. So for $150, just like you said, you get to sponsor a hole. We pretty much give you free reign, to be within reason, right? It is a family event. But for the adults, you can give away shots, booze, beer, merchandise, magnets, pens, anything you want, stickers with your name on it, show photos depending on the type of work you do or what your business is, talk about your business, promote your website, anything you can do to help better yourself. And then, yes, on the flip side of it, the Lions Club goes and promotes each one of the sponsors through their social media, Facebook, through the newspaper, through commercials. I'm not sure. So again, I don't want to say something that ain't true, but in the years past, I know we've had news crews out there, whether it was Madison, Sun Prairie, Baraboo, whoever's covering the local event, but they've gone out. So there's been television. And then at the end of the event, they always send out big thank yous and put in the local newspapers for all our surrounding areas. So it's pretty much, if you think about it, from like the Dells to Madison to Prairie to Sac all the way over. So it covers a pretty big territory. So they try to take care of everybody that takes the time to sponsor.
That's awesome. That's super.
Very cool.
Yeah, awesome, dude. So yeah, I think we got it. I think we nailed it on the head there. $10, get your tickets at the Moose. It's perfect. It's fun. Come on down. So before we let you go, I just kind of want to roll this around to what we were talking about before, because I got thinking about you at the Vikings game. And you're a Vikings fan, but you live in Wisconsin. What is it like bartending during like Packers games? Just seeing like everybody in the bar reacting, and then what is it like bartending during Vikings games for you?
Or a Packers Vikings game?
Yeah, that's a good one too.
Well, so first off, the wife is a diehard Packers fan, so it's a fun kind of NFL season, if you want to say it that way. We have a house divided, right? I always say she sleeps on the couch at least twice a year, which if she was down here on the podcast, she'd probably say it the opposite way. But as far as, being a Vikings fan, look, everybody asks me, and I got no problem saying it. Most of my family is all born and raised up in Minnesota. My father worked in grocery stores as a younger man and engineered them, built them, sold them off all over southern Wisconsin. So I was the only one of my family born and raised here in Wisconsin, born in Janesville. And some of my best memories were always as a young lad going up to Minnesota, Thanksgiving, Christmas time, back when your grandfathers were all alive, right? And they kept the family, family reunions were always strong back in the day when grandpas and grandmas were around for families. And that's what it was for us. We'd go back during the holidays and I'd look up to all the old dogs, the aunts and uncles, and they're cheering, hooting, and hollering at the TV for the Vikings. And it was some of my best memories. So when I got old enough to know the difference, even though we didn't have a ton of Super Bowl rings to talk smack about, I always said, hey, Vikings are my team, win or lose. So we've had some ups and downs. Now, fast forward, coming out of college and being in the union and doing a bunch of work and then coming in and running a bar, man, it's tough being a Vikings fan in Wisconsin. I don't know how else to say it, right? Like, we can't all be Packers fans. What do we can't, what I always joke. What's that?
I said, obviously, we got the, yeah. If Alex is here, he's a Bills fan, so yeah, we're pretty divided up here too.
Well, and that's how I tease everybody at the bar, right? A lot of shit talking. I don't know if I can say that on here, but a lot of crap talking. I always tell all the people that come in and razz, look, at the end of the day, we can't. If we're all Packers fans, what are we gonna do? We're gonna hold hands and sing "Kumbaya" together. Like, if it wasn't for some rivalry, especially some real NFC North, the black and blue division style rivalry. There wouldn't be a game. You got to have a team that you hate, you love, even if it's your second team, not your first. So bartending during games, man, it's interesting. When we win and we get the better of the Packers, I feel like I'm always worried. I'm looking over my shoulder. They're sizing me up to throw me out in the lake, I think, some days. And when we lose, you know what? I try to talk as much good smack as I can within reason without getting beat up but it's fun. I feel like the people really respond. It gives them a reason almost to come to the bar on a Vikings Packer game, just for that camaraderie. They love seeing me with what they'd say, my stupid horns on, the wig, the face paint, in the, they make fun of my purple outfits and on, but I go all out. So I love it. I'm a fan, win or lose, and it's been an interesting thing.
So what's it like when it's just a Packers game versus whoever, and then you're just viewing everybody around the bar? You just kind of, and if they're losing, you just kind of serving beer with a smirk the whole time, or
if they're losing, absolutely. A lot of times I'm in the bar talking shit, trying to razzle them all game long. I'm yelling for a flag every time there's a touchdown just to get some guy pissed off looking at the TV thinking he missed a play. But yeah, I mean, obviously, I'm not cheering for the Packers usually, ever, if ever. Occasionally, if we're not in it, obviously, I'm no dummy. I want to see the NFC North always do good. Just like if you're cheering for your team and your team loses to somebody, sometimes you're like, well, I'm gonna cheer for them just to hope they get it. But when it's the Packers playing anybody else, yeah, I'm razzing all those Packer fans as best as I can. But I think they like that. They love it.
Yeah, a little bit.
That's what when the Bills and Chiefs game was on. I mean, it was just us three on Snapchat the whole game. Look at this, look at that. Of course, they would call this.
Yep.
George just
shut
up.
Black magic, blah blah blah. Ray, blah blah blah.
Isn't that kind of the fun of the game, though, right? Like any sport, if you got a buddy he's the opposite team or the team's playing his team, the goal is to send the jabs at the right time, and that's what makes it good. You go up on the golf course and you duck a ball in the first hole. Look, you're getting razzed the rest of the day.
Great. Give me something to worry about in a couple of weeks here.
Brady, I was going to say, Brady Brady tries to get it under Jordan's skin, but it doesn't work because Jordan knows that he's going to lose money. Brady's going to lose money at the end of the day. So
I'm notorious for the pocket balls on the real golf course. I don't know if I got pockets big enough for a few extra tennis balls when I need my mulligans out there. On
that's
the
true.
Eskimo.
You said you're famous for it. We got to check your pockets before we play with you.
Oh,
They-
my God.
He's very notorious of he shoots goes into the woods or in the long grass, and
Found it.
before you even get
Oh
to
no,
look
I'm
back,
re-teed, ready to go before
he's
that
got
ball
a
even hits
ball
the ground.
down. He had
Yeah.
one in his pocket, got it down and hitting already again.
Yeah.
Not even
If it-
looking for it.
Nope.
If it goes
That one's
in the
gone.
woods, he's got another one on the ground before it lands or hits a tree. And he wears cargo shorts, so they're loaded. They're loaded up good.
He's got a good supply.
Got a good tree full of them in there.
Have you guys ever played the prank on each other? And I'm sure you've either talked about it on your podcast before or you've seen it now online. It's probably becoming more common, but you've seen those like firecracker golf balls that when they hit them off the
Oh, yeah.
driver, they like explode the sound.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you guys
Yeah,
done that to each other yet or played that prank or?
I had they didn't make like a loud noise, but they just disintegrated like into a big powder. I tried using one of those on Alex when we were golfing
It's like 2 years ago.
2 years ago or
Yeah.
something, and it backfired because I got it on. I'm like, here, let me tee this ball up for you. Like I had his ball from the last hole, so I'm like, I'll tee it up for you, and then he just barely ticked it because he missed it so badly, and it just barely rolled off the tee and just kind of fell apart and
Yeah. Turned into a little sand pile right in front of
on
the tee.
the tee box. I'm like, oh, that was just
What a
ruined.
waste. Yeah.
Not the reaction you were hoping for.
Yeah, I was hoping to hit that thing and just explode.
We don't, dude, you should see us golf. We don't need firecracker balls like Alex. He hit a ball and his head went flying off and went down the cart path. You could hear it ting, 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 went farther than his ball. There's always something. Those two, you and Alex got a flat tire in a golf cart, the farthest point away from the golf or the
We weren't doing
clubhouse.
anything nefarious or anything
No,
like that.
but-
It just all of a sudden popped, and we had to. Alex is hanging on the side of the golf cart to try and put as little weight as possible on that side while we're driving up and down hills of the golf course. I'm like, yeah,
It looks pretty ridiculous.
This looks pretty bad, but
Yeah, there's always something that happens for sure.
I feel like I got to get out on the course with you guys. I feel like this
Yeah.
could be.
Anytime.
Always
You guys-
welcome.
I'm assuming you're doing it the Wisconsin way. You're drinking while you're golfing, right? This ain't like a serious Tiger Woods event.
oh yeah, we're
When you
drinking.
golf without drinking?
It
Well, I don't
starts
think
off.
you're supposed to, but I mean, I think some people maybe do. I don't know what your listeners do, but
Never heard of it.
here in Wisconsin, that's I think illegal.
Oh yeah,
It's
My idea for the loser of that Bills Chiefs game was they have to do a hot dog and a beer a hole challenge, but they didn't want to take that punishment.
like I said, I think I could.
Slam a beer a hole would be brutal.
And a hot
Mm,
dog.
hot
You had
dog.
to eat a hot dog too for a hole. I'm like,
Yeah,
I might
could
be.
see somebody puking hole 10 with that idea.
Probably
I
be
could- I could possibly do the 18 beers.
18 hot
one-
dogs. That's a lot of hot
one per hole. I mean, I'm probably going to be smashed, but there's no way I could do 18 hot dogs.
Hey,
That's a
I
lot
know
of
a
hot
guy
dogs.
that owns a really good butcher shop. He may be a sponsor. I don't know if you want to plug that, but
What about
you
usually
should probably get the
snack
meat from
sticks?
that guy, I bet.
Last year, I brought up some snack sticks to put on Blake's booth and had a little sign there of the butcher shop on there. Oh yeah, we talk about it every once in a while.
Blake,
that
Blake
one-
was, sorry,
that
go
one-
ahead.
No, I mean to say that dude, those snack sticks flew off that table. People were just
Yep.
yeah.
Well, and that's what I was going to say. Blake was kind enough. I was stuck behind the tiki hut. He brought me over a little bowl with some goodies off and on throughout the day. So I got a few munchies of those as well. They were delicious. It was a perfect snack.
Yeah. Well, you were busy, People got
Working
it
hard.
Well, hopefully this year, again, we'll have the tiki hut open and hopefully it'll be the place to be. So in
Get your
between,
Mai
whether
Tais
Friday-
and your mojitos and
yeah. Well, no, I'm not doing no mojitos. Forget that. No shaking martinis. We're doing simple shots and maybe 3 beers.
I know that's the go, dude.
that's what I was told. Yeah.
That's awesome. All right, dude. Well, this is usually a half hour. We're almost at an hour, so we appreciate you coming on, dude, and giving us all this information. And yeah, this was great.
Cool. Well, I appreciate you guys having me. I mean, look, we appreciate the opportunity just to talk about it, see if we can drum up any business, inform some of your listeners. If they've never been to it, look, what a great opportunity to give yourself an excuse to get out with some friends and family and go do something different. Get off the couch in the middle of winter and have fun. So we hope the weather's wonderful for everybody. We hope we get some snow and come on out, Remy's Thirsty Moose. We'd love to have you. Thanks for having me, guys.
I don't know if
you bet,
on
dude.
the spot here, but you got like a Facebook page or something you want to plug for the event?
I can put it in the link.
Yep.
Right.
I'll put it in the description.
Yep, you can find Remy's Thirsty Moose on Facebook. You can find us on Yelp, TripAdvisor, Google, Foursquare, Reddit, you name it. We're everywhere. We got amazing food. If you've never been there, we carry about 120 different craft beers, usually year-round, constantly rotating different breweries from all across the country. The food's on point. We're trying to do everything we can, homemade, handcrafted, hand-cut, ground, making our own sauces. You know, it's not all Cisco or food truck bought kind of frozen. I don't want to say crap, but you guys know what I mean. Yes, you get to some of these bars, especially what you think of would be out in like the sticks or the country, and you know, there's a simple burger, French fry kind of bar, chicken strips, you name it, and they don't put much love and effort into their food. There's, you know, not that we don't have those type things, but we also have some things that we put a little bit of that love and extra work into, and we take pride in that. So,
yeah, dude, your burgers. Well, I mean, everything's on point, and I don't know about the craft beers, but the Coors Light's cold. I know that.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. Well, we'll make sure we stock up on all that. Trying to think of what else, if there's anything fun or exciting I missed to say. You know, don't really know about the live music. Don't really know what they're all going to do with the bonfire kind of stuff, but it's going to be
great. So, like, do you have any stat? Like, if you had to guess, like, how many cases of beer do you sell that day?
Who?
At least 2.
Yes. 2 just to you. I mean, you know what? I've actually never thought of it like that. I could probably find that out for next podcast.
Yeah, do that.
I tell you what, so we're a large bar. If I know some of your listeners have never been there, but we're a big bar, big horseshoe bar, back room, pool room, patio, tiki hut. There's volleyball court, horseshoe pits. Obviously, some of that stuff ain't gonna be open in the middle of winter. But with that being said, you know, we gotta have enough beer on hand in summertime when we were having all the live bands and all the bars and the car clubs come and the boaters coming and going and bike nights and on and on. We gotta have a cooler big enough to fit all that stuff, and that cooler's been pretty plumb full to the brim. And in the winter, we usually drain it down quite a bit. We don't need to carry as much. But I tell you what, to give you an idea, when it's Eskimo open, that cooler is just as damn full as what it usually is on some of our busiest Memorial Day and 4th of July holidays. So it's quite impressive. The amount of people that show up to do this event from not just here in Wisconsin, but states all around coming to this event, and the amount of beer we sell. It's a great day. Let's just say this. It's a great day for the Lake Wisconsin Lions Club. They make a lot of money in one day, which is what it's all about, right? It's not about Remy's Thirsty Moose. It's all about Lake Wisconsin Lions Club and this event and what they do for our area. And this one event funds a lot of things for them. So it's a great cause.
Awesome, dude.
Awesome.
Sweet. Well, thanks, dude. And you know, you'll probably see me between now and then. But for the rest of these guys, we'll see you on February 15th.
In a couple weeks here, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for having me on. Appreciate it. Let's do this again sometime.
We will. We might have a recap. We'll see.
Cheers.
All right.
Cheers guys.
Man.
Have a great night.
See you.
Later, guys.
Get out of here.